So there's an answer to the question, did Noah build an ark that housed 2 or 7 of every animal and creature on earth? Well, TLDR, the answer is no. Before a more edifying response, we would need to look at the evidence, or lack thereof. First of all, he is said to have been allegedly 500 years old. Do we have any reason whatsoever to suggest that anyone could live for 500 revolutions around the sun, let alone did? Secondly, the ark allegedly housed 2 or 7 of every animal and creature on earth. Have we any evidence at all that would suggest that any vessel could have been built to accommodate such a massive undertaking 4,000 to 5,000 years ago, even if we only adhere to the instructions in Genesis 6? No. Thirdly, this flood allegedly covered the highest mountains. And if that were the case, where'd all the water come from? To where did it all go? Why, for instance, did the Egyptian and Chinese cultures continue uninterrupted during this period? There's just no evidence that we can evaluate that would lead any reasonable person to conclude that this story is true or even likely true. It's nonsense. Skepticism, sorry if I'm yelling. Skepticism is what informs my atheism. I'm an atheist because the evidence adduced for the proposition that a God exists isn't forthcoming or is profoundly insufficient. You have to try harder than that, Christians. The very concept of the Christian God isn't even properly defined. What even is this God, ontologically speaking? Every single claim about the story of Noah's Ark, from his age, the number of people it took to build it, the contents of it, the integrity of its construction, hell, the flood itself, every single element of the story, dubious as shit, to put it mildly. Skepticism and the ability to critically analyze information is paramount to our being able to discern fact from fantasy. We don't accept that the earth is flat because of satellite imagery, pictures taken from space and the visibly curved horizon, for instance. We do accept that the state of Israel is committing a genocide of the Palestinians in Gaza because that's what the overwhelming evidence in support of that conclusion confirms. We don't accept that 2,000 years or so ago, some itinerant rabbi, convicted of sedition and blasphemy by the Roman government and subsequently put to death by way of crucifixion, reanimated a day and a half or so later. And we don't believe it because chemistry and physics worked the same way 2,000 years ago as they do today, and reanimated corpses being restored to a conscious state isn't a thing. No need to suspend judgment. It's not a thing. The need for critical thinking and skepticism cannot be overstated. Intellectual integrity, knowing what you don't know, having the courage to admit ignorance and the resolve to find answers, knowing what questions to ask, and perhaps equally as important, knowing which answers not to accept. These are all indispensable mechanisms for arriving at the truth. I don't accept that Jesus rose from the dead. I don't accept that Noah built an ark. I don't accept the claim that Iran was close to enriching enough uranium to build a nuclear bomb, and I don't accept them because there's no evidence to warrant their acceptance. What claim is being made? How would you evaluate the evidence adduced for the claim? Is there any evidence you can evaluate? These are just some of the questions one should ask when evaluating claims, but especially the kind of claims made throughout that wretched compilation of filth known as the Bible. Thank you.